Part 1 Word count. 462. One evening, my daughter locked me inside my own bedroom and took away my keys. By the next morning, our family would never be the same. Vanessa looked at me across the table and said firmly, "Sit down, Mom." It wasn't a request, it was an order. Caleb stood right behind her, arms folded, watching me like something that needed to be handled. I sat because I knew refusing would only give them more ammunition for the story they were building. On the table lay a stack of papers, bank notices with red warnings, printed emails, and overdue bills arranged like evidence against me. "What is this about?" I asked quietly. Vanessa's response was immediate and sharp. "Don't act innocent. This mess is because of you." She leaned in closer. "You always pretend everything is fine while the world falls apart around you. You still live like it's decades ago, and it makes me look like I came from nothing." Caleb cleared his throat and added in his calm, reasonable tone, "Jane, you don't really understand modern finances. It's better if you stay out of it right now." His eyes moved to my purse. "Given your condition, it might be safer if you don't keep your keys tonight." My stomach tightened. "Those keys belong to me," I said evenly. Before I could react, "House keys and phone," and slipped them into her pocket. "You're too agitated," she announced loudly. "You're not thinking straight." When I stepped forward, she raised her voice. "See, this is exactly what I mean. You're not stable. I'm doing this to protect you. If you're listening and your chest feels tight right now, if you recognize how concern can twist into control when someone wants your silence more than your well-being, then you already know why nights like this change everything. And if stories of quiet strength deserve support, hit that like button and help these real voices reach others who need them." "Thank you for staying with me." Caleb didn't intervene. He simply said, "If you calm down and cooperate, this will be easier for all of us." I repeated slowly, "Give me back my phone." Vanessa laughed bitterly. "You don't need it. You'll only make things worse." She guided me firmly down the hallway. "Stay in your room tonight, Mom. Don't come out and embarrass us." I stood at my bedroom door and protested. "You can't do this." Caleb leaned close and whispered, "If you start yelling, we'll just say you're confused." People always believe the daughter. The word "old" hung in the air as justification. Vanessa, gently but firmly, pushed me inside and locked the door from the outside. The click echoed through me like ice. I didn't scream. I sat on the edge of the bed, heart racing but mind clearing. They weren't protecting me, they were containing me. The papers, the rehearsed lines, everything suggested they planned to have me sign something while I was tired and isolated. But they had forgotten something important. I had prepared for moments when family might underestimate me. What I activated the next morning would turn their carefully laid plan upside down. Part 2 Word count. 451. I grew up in a modest, Midwest home where money was counted carefully and self-reliance was everything. My parents taught me responsibility over emotion. That mindset shaped my entire life. When my husband fell ill, I became the rock for our family. After he passed, I worked hard first as a clerk, then advancing into accounting because numbers never lied. I showed my love for Vanessa through stability, paying bills on time, covering her education, buying her a car outright so she wouldn't start life in debt. I believed quiet consistency was enough. But Vanessa grew up in a world that valued visible affection and appearances. My practical approach embarrassed her. My independence made her feel unnecessary. 2 years ago, after a minor medical procedure, she convinced me to sign a limited power of attorney just in case. I trusted her then. I never imagined it would be used against me. Caleb encouraged her, always framing things as just paperwork and procedure. He planted ideas that my savings were control, that my boundaries were stubbornness. That second night, locked in again, I stayed calm. I let the scheduled safety check-in with my accounts and lawyer's office pass deliberately. The system I had quietly set up years earlier was designed to trigger if something felt wrong. By morning, there was a firm knock at the front door. Official voices asked to speak with me. Vanessa tried to explain me away as confused and agitated. Caleb layered on concern about caring for an aging parent. But when they finally opened the door, I stood tall and spoke the exact code phrase the attorney had given me. The visitors listened carefully. They asked if I felt safe. They reviewed the power of attorney and the circumstances of my confinement. The atmosphere shifted quickly. The abuse prevention clause activated. The document was suspended immediately. My keys and phone were returned. Questions turned into instructions for Vanessa and Caleb. Their explanations sounded weak. I watched their confident plan unravel without raising my voice. As the officials left, I began gathering my belongings. Vanessa's anger exploded. "You ruined everything," she shouted. Caleb turned on her too, blaming her for promising I would cooperate. Their argument revealed the truth. This was never about my well-being, it was about access to my resources. But the full consequences of their actions were only just beginning to unfold. Part 3 word count. 448. I didn't feel victory, only steady resolve. I met with my attorney Martin Hale shortly after. He helped revoke the power of attorney fully, added stronger protections to my accounts, and documented the pattern of coercion. I moved into a peaceful senior community with simple routines, morning coffee, quiet walks, and no one calculating my worth. Vanessa called weeks later, her tone softer but still circling back to finances. I told her I loved her, but would no longer discuss money. The loan they had been preparing collapsed under scrutiny. Their marriage showed cracks as the pressure mounted. One afternoon, standing by my window, I reflected on how quickly family can turn entitlement into control. I had spent years building safeguards, not because I expected betrayal, but because I valued my dignity. I redirected some savings to causes supporting elderly independence and women, rebuilding their lives quiet acts of giving without strings. Vanessa reached out again months later, wanting to meet. I agreed, but only on terms of mutual respect. Whether healing was possible remained uncertain. What mattered was that I no longer traded my peace for their comfort. The final realization I came to about love, boundaries, and self-worth would stay with me forever. Part 4 word count. 435. I learned that justice doesn't always arrive loudly. Sometimes it comes through paperwork, quiet boundaries, and a calm refusal to disappear. Being a mother doesn't mean becoming a resource. Family doesn't grant permission to erase your autonomy, and age doesn't cancel your right to safety and respect. Vanessa had wanted a mother she could rescue to feel important. My independence threatened that role. Caleb had seen opportunity in my trust. Together they mistook my patience for weakness. But systems built on manipulation eventually exposed themselves. I didn't share this story for revenge or drama. I share it because too many older women stay silent, believing endurance equals love, and usefulness equals value. It doesn't. Love should never require you to vanish. Choosing yourself is not betrayal, it is necessary. If any part of this resonates, if you've ever felt your voice slowly taken away by those closest to you, know you are not alone. Your clarity is not cruelty. Your boundaries are not selfish. Survival sometimes means walking away from roles that diminish you. This is Grandma True Stories, a space where quiet voices finally speak. If these real-life accounts matter to you, please subscribe and share. Your support helps stories like mine reach others still locked behind doors of doubt. Thank you for listening. Remember, when a grandmother finds her voice again, it's not because she's broken. It's because she's done being silent.